Hello, everybody. Oh, what happened?
I've not seen any messages showing that we're live. No emails or anything. Are you sure we got everything that way set properly?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I should actually look at the team on stream, make sure we're actually live.
Oh,
there.
we're live. We're live.
Yeah. Well.
But hello, everybody. It is Saturday, the 1st, 2018, September 1st, 2018. Even though it was a really that's scary for a second. I was just like, oh dear, what did I screw up now? Gertrude and I kind of slept in a little bit, so we're a little bit.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna throw you under the bus on this one.
Wow.
Because I've been up since 8:50 in the morning.
I slept through my alarm.
Took a shower, ate some food, and texted you. But you know what?
I slept through my alarm.
It's okay. Next time I'll just bring a gong.
Walks into my room, gong, gong. Oh my gosh, that'd be horrible. Sorry about that. I
don't know what would scare you more. Me showing up to your room and I live hundreds of miles away from you, or me showing up in your room with a gong?
Probably both. Probably both. That's what would probably bug me the most, actually, in all honesty. But beyond that, no. But yeah, we've got quite a packed show as usual. We have, what you said, seven articles or something like that today.
Yep. And FYI, today is Saturday, September 1st of 2018. And Castlemania. Sup?
Oh, cool. Yeah. So,
Good.
All right, cool. Well, I think we're pretty good. I think we're pretty good to start. So I guess this first article, I guess Gertrude would be yours,
Yep.
I believe. All right.
Yep. Okay.
Let's go ahead.
A few weeks back, we went over a gentleman who helped out an autistic customer who has always wanted to stock groceries, and I'm doing well, Castlemania. Welcome to the stream. And okay, so then I know this article is from August 5th, but we had to do a little update. So that gentleman who helped out the autistic customer learn how to
stock shelves.
Thank you, Castle. Stock shelves. He ended up getting a college tuition gift of $100,000.
Wow.
Which is awesome.
Indeed.
That's a lot. That's a lot of money. That goes a long way when it comes to college. It's like, wow. Okay, so basically, as a supermarket employee went viral earlier before August 5th, after being recorded while he helped teach an autistic customer how to stock shelves in the Baton Rouge, Louisiana store. The employee, Jordan Taylor, was stocking shelves at Roses Market when he noticed Jack Ryan watching him. He decided to show him how to stock the shelves, and the two worked together to stock milk and juice for almost half an hour. Now, Ryan's dad decided to record the interaction on his phone. "I'm watching a miracle in action," he said to a friend in the video. And I just think it's really, really awesome that this person was given such a gift. He gave a gift and he got a gift back. Now, that's not how it always works, but in this case it is, and I'm really hoping that he chooses a great college to go to, he gets a great degree, and he gets a job that makes him millions. But Grit, what do you think?
I think I'd like my neighbors to stop using the jackhammer. Because my mic is like going off with the jackhammer. So I'm sorry for anybody that's listening via audio when this episode's posted. My neighbors decided that it was very appropriate to use a jackhammer. And it's too early in the day for a jackhammer because I'm doing my show and they need to be considerate of TMM, Kappa.
Yep.
In case those of you who are also listening don't know what Kappa is an emote of sarcasm, as Castle just used in the chat here. I mean, it's great. I mean, this story for this kid just gets better and better. Honestly, you know, he's not, you know, he's not being rejected by society, which can usually happen with people who have disabilities. He's being blessed with, you know, with this, you know, grant for money and stuff like that. It's awesome. It's really, really good to see somebody get, you know, get blessed like that and stuff. So good on him. That's super cool.
Now he also does have a GoFundMe page. Which I really quick opened it, and he's actually at almost $132,000 in just 1 month. If I could make that much in 1 month, I mean, come on, that's like, for me, that's like 4 or 5 years of living without a job.
Wow, Castlemania, we haven't rejected you from society yet, Grid. Wow. That's messed up.
I'm sorry. That's a burn, but you know,
that's a bit too much.
Part of society.
I am part of society.
Part of the crazy nuts society.
I mean, I guess better than not being part of society. I don't know. I don't know how to take.
You have your own society, which is great. You've got a great
Guardians of the Grid
society of people
and my
that
family
like you and respect you.
True.
Kappa.
Wow. Wow.
I'm joking, obviously.
Just picking on the dyslexic today.
Oh, and it goes great with the article.
Oh, well. Castlemania says in chat, I love you all, lol, with the lol emote. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness. Yes. You guys are great. Grid, you're great. You're awesome.
And are you, Gertron? As are you.
As are you. Indeed. Okay. So with that, we're going to go ahead and keep pushing forward to
the article train.
And which I believe this one's Grids.
Yes, it is. And I will have fun with this because apparently Verizon admits to throttling data during a serious firefighting event in California. I believe this was in this was in California. Okay. So this comes from NBC.com. We go ahead and wait, that's the wrong. I'm trying to pull up the chat really quick and see where I am here. All right, cool. Verizon is admitting that it made a mistake in slowing the wireless data speeds of California firefighters as they battled what has been called the largest fire in state history this month. The company said that the slowdown, which happened because the department's plan allowed for the use of limited amount of high-speed wireless data, had nothing to do with the rollback of the net neutrality rules and was a customer service mistake. I don't trust Verizon for that kind of thing. The throttling, quote-unquote, was reported by the technology website Aris Techna. The data slowdown came to light in a brief filed this week as part of the federal lawsuit brought by New York State's Attorney General and others that seeks to block the end of the 2015 Obama-era rules that governed how internet services providers handled data that traveled over their networks. The brief claim that firefighters of the Santa Clara County Central Fire Protection District, that is a... Try saying that 5 times fast. Please don't, but my gosh. Had their data...
Central Fire Protection District, Santa Clara County Central Fire Protection District. You go. You have it.
Had their data throttled by Verizon, despite telling the company they were in the midst of an emergency. Throttling is a term used for when companies slow down internet service speeds. Quote is saying... This throttling has been a significant impact on the ability to provide emergency services, the county's fire chief, Anthony Bodin, wrote. Verizon imposed these limitations despite being informed that throttling was actively impeding county's fire ability to provide crisis response and essential emergency services. Good grief.
Okay. I gotta say something here.
Go for
it. Why does Verizon throttle internet speeds?
Because Verizon is an evil company.
I'd say they need to be sued because they're part of the cause of the fire now. Because if they would have had better internet connection and been able to spread details a little better over wireless, they may have been able to prevent some of those fires. They may have been able to at least slow some of the fires down. So, I mean, Verizon is basically guilty of murder.
Could be. Could they really, though?
I think so. I think they could be.
I mean,
if anybody died during the throttling
and didn't have rescuing,
the throttling caused the death, as in they were trying to reach out to get help or let people know that, hey, this is going on right here, somebody might die, and they were throttled, and that message was late or that information wasn't given off at a proper time, then yes, Verizon is guilty of murder.
Hi, creature. Welcome to the chat. And welcome to the show as well. Good morning.
Yes.
I forgot to say, and also I forgot to probably say, yes, good morning to those who are in the chat room. I'm so sorry. I forgot to say that. It's actually technically afternoon, but you know, whatever. I'm still going to count it as early morning.
It's still good morning for me, but okay.
Yeah, still good morning. Yeah. Let's see. Where was I here? Bowden wrote that when contacted about the problem, Verizon representatives confirmed the throttling. Oh, dumb. But said that they would have to switch to a new, more expensive data plan. Highway robbery.
I know, right?
It eventually switched plans, but in the meantime, fire personnel were forced to use other agencies' providers on their personal devices, Bowden wrote. That is just wrong. That's so wrong.
Oh, goodness.
The issue provides a real-world example of what has largely been a hypothetical concern of net neutrality supporters, that allowing companies to manipulate their networks can have adverse consequences, some of which can be unexpected. Verizon, in a statement to NBC Bay Area, said that it does not lift data caps in emergencies. Oh, that it does lift data cap in emergencies, and that this was a customer support mistake. But it also said that this situation has nothing to do with net neutrality or current proceeding in court. Yeah, right.
Somebody's gonna get.
Somebody's butt's gonna get kicked.
Excuse the pun, but somebody's gonna get fired.
Where's my laugh tracks? Hold on. Where's my? That was great. Well done. Well done.
Now, looking farther ahead in the article, I don't know if you got to this part yet.
No.
Bowden's declaration does not blame limited data for any deaths or injury or any destroyed or damaged homes, which I personally think that's hogwash.
Mm-hmm.
So
indeed.
I'm pretty sure they're just saying that because if they said anything else, then Verizon would be charged, and Verizon's a big donkey.
And see this is why I will never go back to Verizon. This is exactly one of the reasons, because they mess their customers over like this. I mean,
you had Verizon?
We had Verizon internet. That was DSL, which prevented me from being able to stream at all, I might add. So I had Verizon DSL for a number of years. They messed us over with our speeds constantly getting screwed up, and they're faulty phone line, faulty speed, faulty everything, and we ditched them. And then finally, and the really sucky part was Verizon would advertise Verizon Fios in our area. Okay, like they were putting in Fios lines or whatever. When we called about getting Fios, they said, "Oh, your neighborhood's too old." About a decade later, no less, they put in Fios, and now they're trying to sell us Fios internet when they said our neighborhood was too old.
Old. Well, old things are sometimes good, and they need a little bump. I'm
sorry, I've been burned by Verizon too much. I will not, unless their company gets revamped, CEO fired, company revamped altogether. No, just no.
Oh my goodness.
The amount of I'm going to use the term PJ Salt and Grid21 Salt, which are two emotes on Twitch. For those who don't know, the amount of salt that I have for Verizon is very, 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 very real.
Oh, I will never use Verizon ever. Like ever. I've never had any good track record with Verizon at all. AT&T is where it's at. AT&T or T-Mobile or Net 10. Net 10 is also good.
Now
they all use the same towers.
Now I personally do use Comcast, and Comcast has been 10 out of 10 for me in my area. I've had some great tech support from them, and honestly, a lot of the stuff that they actually like. I don't know if it's just because of where I live, maybe because I live so close to a city area or something like that, but Comcast has been really fantastic. They'll send agents out. They've actually, they've been really good about customer support, about ticket care, make sure that they put a ticket in for something. They've made sure that, that they send, the support's been awesome. And the funny part is I've heard the opposite about Comcast from other people. And I'm like, well, apparently we just got fortunate. So I'm grateful. Yeah. But Verizon, no.
It's kind of the same thing in my neighborhood. We use Suddenlink primarily. And we joke about how they're actually named Sudden Stink rather than Sudden Link.
Nice.
Because they can suddenly every now and then stink. And I guess I've just been lucky because the first time I used Suddenlink, I had a whole bunch of issues with it. I mean, it was going in and out. No matter how many times I had them show up, it just never worked. And that's when I realized, Sudden Stink sounds a lot better. But then I moved, and then all of a sudden, I haven't had any issues whatsoever with it. I really think it's just location.
Yeah, I do too. I probably that's probably what it majority must be. It must be the location stuff.
Location.
I want to read chat here. Creature says in chat, we use Verizon just because they're the only good cell provider where we live.
What other cell providers are available? That'd be my question.
That is a very good question to which I've never answered.
Because if AT&T is there, then I would have to see your data on how they are good.
I'm just waiting for Google Fiber. Let's just be honest. I'm just waiting for Google Fiber, my dude.
Oh my goodness. You ain't kidding. Google Fiber? That is going to be amazing. One terabyte speeds? I'm waiting for the day when speeds are actually non-existent, because when you say you want to do something, if you want to download a 500 terabyte file, you click a button and it's just there. It's just there. Done. 1 second later, bam, there you go.
Woo! All right.
Which right now, if you wanted to download a 500 terabyte file, it'll probably take you a few years.
All right. Let's see. Creature also says in chat, apparently says, well, we're in the mountains and we've tried AT&T and we only got signal with Verizon except in Bluff.
Dewfield?
I believe so. In Dewfield when your cell signal drops. Oh gosh. But yeah. We're gonna go ahead and move on down the article train. But yeah, no, I don't like Verizon. Never
Nobody
will.
likes Verizon.
Let's see.
Okay, so this one's for me. Okay, so Grant, this was back on August 10th, and
Oh, it's okay. It's just Automod. It's okay. Go on.
Okay.
Continue on.
I'll let you handle it then.
Yep.
Okay. So this article, which I love animals. I think animals are amazing. Even the dangerous animals. I mean, they're God's creatures. I mean, come on. But here's what is crazy. Currently, we are in an opioid crisis. And for those of you who don't understand, this means people are using opioids way too much and dying from them. Fentanyl's a huge issue. I worked for a pharmacy benefits manager, so I see what people are getting prescribed. And let me tell you, there's an issue. But here's where things get horrible. When people start harming their pets on purpose to get opioids. Because if you get an opioid from a veterinarian, it's the same thing as the real thing. If you get an Oxycontin 10 milligram that's designed for a dog, it's the same thing as getting an Oxycontin for a human. They're both
I didn't know you could. I didn't even
same
know.
Thing, just packaged.
I didn't even know you could get that for an animal. What?
Oh yeah.
Since when?
Yeah. Since the beginning of veterinarians. For instance, when I was over at somebody's house, I was in some pretty bad pain. Their dog had some muscle relaxers because their dog had surgery, but that was a while back, and they still had some. I just took some of the dog's muscle relaxers. It was cyclobenzaprine just for a dog, and it's the same exact thing.
Interesting.
So what people would do is they would purposefully hurt their animals in such a way that the veterinarian would be like, yep, the dog's in pain. We got to give him some Oxycontin or oxymorphone or some fentanyl or whatever opioid fits their fancy. And they give them a prescription. And guess what? They go home with the dog and the prescription. They get the prescription. Dog or animal gets nothing. And the human does whatever they want with the opioids and they get their fix. And it is so much easier to get opioids for an animal than it is for a human. For animal, there's next to no regulation.
Interesting.
So if you find a veterinarian who knows what's going on and you pay him a little extra money on the pocket, that vet can prescribe whatever opioids they want, and there's like next to no regulation on it.
Wow.
They're in fact, it's become such an issue. They're just trying to catch up on it. That's
interesting.
They're just trying to catch up, which is crazy.
All right, so what is this article is basically covering what I'm wondering. So basically, what is it talking about this being such a okay.
Yeah. I mean that's a basically I was just reading it off the cuff, but here's the article itself because there's a video. If you want to play the video, let me know, and we'll go ahead and play the video. It's a pretty short one.
All right, give me a sec to cue this up here. Unmute tab, and here we go. Let me rewind the video because it started auto playing. By the way, this comes from WKRG.com. I guess that's their. Can we get an online course? Hold on, I gotta refresh the page. The tab, the video is. I think the video is glitching. Significance of the epidemic. No, is it? No. Okay. Oh no, hold on. We're having a slight site issue. Hold on. Give me a sec, guys.
It's an all-time low for people trying to get high, deliberately and intentionally harming their pets in order to get a prescription to opioids.
This is just the wake-up call.
According to a just-released study by CU Anschutz, people addicted to opioids are injuring their own pets or even dogs not belonging to them to satiate their opioid obsession.
This is not a systematic investigation in the sense of classic research, but it's good enough to tell us that there's a problem.
In response, CU Anschutz has created an online course for veterinarians to detect such cases.
It talks about the significance of the epidemic, the role of veterinarians, best practices and strategies.
At Alameda East Veterinarian Hospital in Aurora, Dr. Kevin Fitzgerald says this has been a problem for some time.
They know the drug names right away. They know the names. They know the dosages. And they say, I'm here from out of town, and they need an inordinate number, a huge number.
Dr. Fitzgerald also says we're playing a little catch-up now.
The cow's already out of the barn, and the onus is on veterinarians to do their own policing.
There are safeguards his clinic has already in place for such abuse.
We make sure that every animal gets a physical exam and really does have that disorder, and then give a limited number, prescribe a limited number of the drug, and then also no refills.
Dr. Newman from CU Anschutz and Dr. Fitzgerald both agree the problem of procuring painkillers from pets is likely underreported and only the tip of the iceberg.
Oh gosh.
It's just crazy. And like I said, it's so much easier to get opioids from veterinarians because it's just not looked at as much.
I just think that this whole thing is just really I'm almost sick of hearing about this whole opioid that and blah blah blah. I'm just like, oh my gosh, just if it's so dangerous, just pull it from the shelves. Good grief.
Well, there are some people that need it. For instance, if you're a cancer patient, if I'm doing an opioid deal or opioid prior authorization and it's an inordinate amount of opioids, a lot of opioids in it, and they say the patient has cancer, I'm like, yep, you deserve it. Cancer is very, very painful. Now, there was one guy that wanted a prior authorization because he had broken his arm and he wanted to get opioids. The only way you can get opioids in most cases is if it's a long-term opioid. Short-acting opioid, there's a little more leeway, but long-term opioids, it requires that you have long-term use for the opioid, meaning that you're going to be taking this more than just for a month. You're going to be taking this for years. They don't account for acute pain because you can get addicted so quickly.
Interesting. Huh. Well, the issue just continues on, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
I love it. And speaking
now
of
the opioids aren't even safe. Our DNA isn't even safe. Squid, what's going on here?
all right, it seems that our DNA could actually be subject to hackers. Hey, isn't that exciting?
You know, we're gonna have a vast DNA protection downloaded for your convenience.
Imagine a hacker be like, I stole someone's DNA and I will genetically recreate this human, but in evil form.
Oh my, an evil twin. That'd be interesting.
That would be interesting, but terrible at the same time. Is your DNA safe from hackers? That's a question experts have started asking as more and more people submit their DNA to companies like 23andMe and Ancestry.com. In most cases, you spit into a tube and mail the saliva in for genetic testing, which then reveals not only your culture lineage, but provides clues about any health risks and genetic disposition. The testing kits cost around $99. This comes from foxnews.com, by the way. Mm-hmm. Yet hackers know your DNA is invaluable. They can collect a sample when you throw out a used Kleenex or sip from the disposable cup. Criminals can collect the DNA to sample to blackmail you later on. Oh my gosh, really? Sell it on the dark web or save it in an archive for future use. Oh.
Now, as far as blackmail goes, but what they could actually do there, you know, they take some of your DNA and then they put your DNA in somewhere where it's not supposed to be, where if people found out or believed you're in that certain area, part of that certain situation, you can get in a lot of trouble even though you were never there.
Really?
So they blackmail you that way. I mean, for instance,
really?
let's say a murder happened and you were nowhere near, you were nothing to do with it at all. But they put your DNA there and the cops find your DNA there. All of a sudden you're getting a knock on your door and you're a prime suspect, even though you have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Oh, interesting. I never thought of that. Mm-hmm. That's scary, actually.
Or even more so, a criminal could use your DNA to get into areas like, let's say you worked at a secured area where, you know, you had to check your DNA to even get in. Mm-hmm. They could use your DNA to
biometric
trick the system
information,
thinking that they're you, and then they get into an area they're not supposed to be in, and then they do whatever they're not supposed to be doing.
Interesting. So it's basically getting biometric data. Interesting. Scary though. Let's continue on. Joyce Ligner, a representative from the Tommy Health, a company that uses blockchain technology to secure your DNA, says that consumers need to approach genetic testing with their eyes wide open. When you engage in DNA testing with 23andMe, you make the choice and about which testing and cost model you prefer, Ligner told Fox News, but you make an assumption wrongingly that this is their business model, e.g. charge me for the kit and provide the service. But we've discovered that it's not the case. Their actual business model is based upon selling their ever-growing data pool of DNA results to whoever wants to purchase it. Wait, what?
Yep. Another reason for them to get your DNA is, you know, they can learn a lot about you with your DNA. Hey, look, I mean, this 23andMe can figure out your entire back history as far as, you know, who's your relative from 100 years ago, but it can also tell them so much more about you. And then later on, once they figure out who you are, they can advertise to you specifically to what they believe you actually want in life.
Oh my gosh. Wow, this is, I almost don't, I almost don't. I thought 23andMe was pretty cool, but now I kind of, yeah.
See, it doesn't affect me at all because, as far as I'm concerned, who cares what happened in my past? Who cares who my distant relatives are? I mean, all I cared about is me and the future and those around me.
Yeah. Excuse me. Last month, 23andMe announced a major partnership with pharmaceutical giant
GlaxoSmithKline.
Thank you. Focused on research and development of innovative new medicines and potential cures. 23andMe customers can choose to participate in research and contribute their information to a unique and dynamic database, the company said in a joint statement. Let's see. As part of the 4-year collaboration, GlaxoSmithKline made a $300 million inquiry investment in consumers genetic specialist, which has over 5 million customers. My gosh, all that DNA. The continued project of consumers' DNA and privacy is the highest priority for both GSK and 23andMe. Thank you, God, they abbreviated finally. The firm said in their statement, both companies had stringent security protections in place when it comes to collecting and storing, transferring information about research participants. Nevertheless, the use of consumer DNA is in the spotlight at the moment. Reuters recently reported, for example, that immigration authorities in Canada have been using DNA and ancestry websites to assert the nationality of immigrants. The FTC.
Okay. So that's okay to be doing that, but another thing, when they're collecting your DNA, they can also then share that with the police. Now your DNA is on file. Here's what I'm going right back to crimes, for instance. If you're a criminal and you're trying to live a criminal life, and you decide, oh, I'm curious about what my ancestry was, and you've never been caught by the police before because you're always good about, keeping your DNA out of the area. And you see when they find DNA at a crime scene, they don't just automatically test that and know exactly what it is. That DNA has to be compared with all the DNA they currently have on file from other crimes and other criminals and other, not just criminals, but if you've done a background check and had your fingerprints or your DNA taken, that's in their system as well. So it's not just bad people in their system. There's good people too. It just makes it easier for them to track things down.
Indeed.
Now, if you had never shared your DNA with anybody and you share it with them, they could potentially give that to the authorities, which again, now they find your DNA at a crime scene. You're less safe as far as committing crimes. So, I mean, there's a little bit of benefit there when it comes to anti-crime.
Yeah, because it just I don't know, there's so much it's really cool to find out your ancestry, but then now at the same time it's okay, I sent this off, I have no idea where it's going, really, up to this point. It seems like I have no idea if my DNA is safe, not to mention sending your DNA through the mail. What if the mail gets hijacked before it even gets to the place it's supposed to go to and a criminal has it and stuff? I mean, it's just, now there's a lot of there's a lot of potential risks now. Now, I mean, it's great to know, it would be one thing if I was giving a DNA sample to a doctor or whatever, and they need to know, something to do with my own personal health. That's fine. But when it comes to sending it off to know where my ancestry is, I don't know. I don't know anymore,
Now, there are other benefits to giving your DNA. For instance, I was taking a look down in the comments in the actual article itself. Couple different things here. The first comment says, and when the president or other high-ranking officials need an organ transplant, a magical perfect replacement is found. And in another story, a mother disappeared from her home without a trace. Let that sink in for a moment. But there is another thing here. And I was scrolling down. Where'd it go? that was in here. Okay. Woodmaven in this article down at the bottom says, caution, there is a danger to having your DNA analyzed and it's not what you think. 6 months ago, I did the 23andMe version just to see what diseases I might be prone to. All the old age stuff was okay, with one exception: onset of age-related macular degeneration. I just had my eyes checked, and sure enough, there's some evidence of degrading macula. With DNA tests, this would have never happened. So there's that benefit as well. You can find out possibly what medical issues you may be prone to based on your family history.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some good things, but just yeah. And hello, Archer and Hipster Turtle. Welcome to the stream. Archer states, talk about how all news is fake and just a distraction to keep people of the United States unaware of what is really going on in the United States and the world, cause the government wants us to be stupid. Hi, FBI guy. That is no keeping an eye on me.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Good morning, Allie, as well. And hi, Archer. I don't know what that was all about. And hello, Hipster. Good morning as well. But interesting, yes. So be careful when you send your DNA to 23andMe. You might have a clone show up one day at your door. Or you might be accused of something you didn't actually do.
Exactly.
And then you'd be the A-team on the run. That sounds like that question, if you could know what you have 99% chance of cancer, what do you want to know? I mean, to be fair, Hipster, yeah, I would want to know, what I could potentially be, like subject to. But at the same time, it's like not at the risk of things being a potential risk for, whatever and stuff.
Well, you see, in all reality, let's boil this all down. Most people probably don't have to be worried too much about their DNA being used inappropriately. The people who most likely have the most issue with having their DNA used inappropriately are people of power or people in some sort of company position that benefits other people. People like you and me, they're probably not going to be able to do much with our DNA. Let's just figure it. I mean, if they do, I mean, personally, I'd be kind of proud.
All right. Alrighty.
Depending on what they did.
Alrighty.
But I think we've beat this article with the
yes,
bloody
I think
poll,
we have. I think we can go ahead and move on.
which is great. It's a great article.
Yeah, no, it was great. Awesome.
It's all about DNA. So yeah. So let's
move on. Speaking of things that are caused by genetic defections.
Oh, look, a squirrel.
Speaking of things that are caused by Speaking of things that are caused by genetic deform, Gertron, ADHD. Let's talk about this.
Oh, I want to talk about unicorns. Right? Oh, no. We're talking about this. Okay, that's fine. ADHD diagnoses, which is short for Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder.
Yes.
Diagnoses may be rising in the U.S., which personally, in my mind, people who are diagnosed with ADHD, for instance, I was diagnosed with both ADD and ADHD. I just think, in some cases, it's completely true.
Both? How does that even work?
I was a crazy kid. I was off the walls. And let me just say, I was not a good boy. I got suspended from school like 12 times.
I mean, you're an adult and you're still a crazy person. But
this is true.
But you know what the cool part is? You being crazy is what got you on this show.
Exactly. Now, Creature Please just made my point that I was about to say. It's because not enough parents are smacking the minus that part out of their kids.
Spankings.
Spankings are important. Now, abuse. Abuse.
There is a difference. There's a difference.
There is.
I was spanked on my behind by my loving parents, as weird as it sounds. Yes, I was spanked on my behind, and it kept me in line. And now I am the perfect specimen that you see before you today. No joking.
Do
Continue.
we really want to go there?
No, I'm joking. Lex Briggs says, I'm also off the wall. I prefer to stay on the floor.
Wow. Okay, so like I was saying, there are some kids that literally do have
a lot of
mental issues in which, I could definitely say, it's good that you're diagnosed with ADHD and ADD. But in most cases, it's because the parents just don't want to control their kids. They want their kids to be calm and collected, so they just dose them up with pills.
Because if they don't, because if they do, they feel like this. I don't want to smack my child. It's abuse. I'm stunting their growth. It's absolutely terrible. It's so horrible. I don't like to see them cry.
Yesterday, and they cry. But now they don't do anything wrong because I smacked them.
Right. Okay, continue. We're delaying the reading this. Sorry.
Okay.
Wow. Antics aside.
Between 1997 and 2016, the proportion of children diagnosed with ADHD rose from 6.1% to 10.2%. That's almost double. That's almost. Not there yet, but it's almost. And researchers reported in the JAMA Network Open. A greater awareness of the condition may be a factor, and also the fact that, hey, if I get my kid diagnosed with ADHD or ADD, I can give them pills and they'll shut up so I can sleep. But there might be multiple reasons. Bao said in an email, first, doctors and health professionals are better at knowing this condition than previously slow, so they are better at recognizing and diagnosing this condition. Second, the public is more aware of the condition and also the great medication you can get to shut your kids up. And third, biological factors may also be playing a role. For example, infants born early or small survive, but they were at higher risk of developing ADHD because they're small. They got a lot of energy pent up in that little body. They gotta really push it out there. I mean, are you kidding me? Bao and colleagues reviewed 20 years of the responses to the National Health Interview Survey, which is conducted by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. They focused on a question in the survey. Has a doctor or health professional ever told you that your child had attention deficit hyperactive disorder or attention deficit disorder? Now, the 2015 to 2016 survey included data on over 18,000 children and adolescents ranging 4 to 17. Overall, almost 1,900 had reportedly received a diagnosis of ADHD. The researchers found significant differences in prevalence with respect to race, ethnicity, and gender. ADHD was reported in 14% of boys because, I mean, come on. Boys like to roughhouse. Boys are rowdy. And versus 6.3% of girls, and in 12% of non-Hispanic white children versus 6.1% in Hispanic children. Because get this, Hispanics actually punish their kids. I've done a little research. Hispanics are more likely to spank their children than white people are to spank their children. Interesting indeed. And 12.8% of non-Hispanic black kids, which I have nothing against black people. I think they're great. But they are known for being a little more...
being uncivil.
Outspoken.
Uncivil.
It does happen. There are some great black people. I'm not labeling them all.
Of course.
I'm not labeling them all.
There's a very small there's a small percentage. You know.
I think we need to be careful. We don't want to make fun of black people.
I'm not at all. I'm just saying, like, it appears that way. I mean, I've met a lot of great people of all cultures, of all types. Now I want to
okay, I do have to point in here. Creature says he wants to come in the room and he has an opinion. Do we want to allow him into the room?
If he can be very, very brief, then yes, we'll have a
You've got 30 seconds. Give me a moment to get my timer up. Time. I said timer, not time. Okay. You when I drag you in here, you have 30 seconds. When it gets done in 30 seconds, I'm pushing you right out. So keep it brief. And your time starts now. Unmute him. Why is he muted?
And
make sure he's unmuted
and speak.
Okay. So when I was younger, I was diagnosed with ADHD and they put me on this medicine, right? And then I would go in for checkups and they'd be like, oh, they'd be selling this to my mom. They'd be like, oh, your son's underweight. You need to get him to eat more. But when I was on the medicine, I wouldn't eat. So I was almost anorexic. So I would be underweight. Like the average for my age would be like, say it was 120 pounds, I would be 90.
Wow.
Interesting.
And then it got to the point where like it was in 7th grade and I was like really scrawny, and I was just like, you know what? I've been off my medicine for like a week because we ran out of the prescription. I feel fine. I've been eating more. And so I just quit my ADHD medicine. And I'm not saying it has a direct correlation, but I was like 5 foot at the time, and then I shot straight up to 6'5" within 2 years.
Oh my.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. And I gave you an extra 30 seconds there. That's great. I'm gonna throw you out of here, but we can chat in there. That is interesting. I got some things to say about that. Okay.
Now,
so I took ADHD based medication, trilipitol and Ritalin and Adderall.
oh my
and
gosh.
all that good stuff. I mean, it was just like, wow. I don't take any of that stuff anymore, but I will say, L-theanine, it's not a prescription. You can buy it from a local pharmacy. It's a vitamin. It has changed my life.
Now I'm gonna say I'm gonna read some comments in chat, and then I'm gonna have I'm gonna throw in my own commentary or things I've heard about commentary with this stuff. Okay, so Hipster Turtle 80 says some parent views which I could understand if this is a genetic or actual disorder. Some parents don't want to be too hard on them when it's a disorder they can't control. And then Hipster also said, that's so real. My cousin is allowed of her medicine in the summer, and the child can probably out-eat a linebacker when she is off the meds. Lexbreak had a really good point here, and I love it. This is from Proverbs 13:24. He says, whoever spares the rod hates his son, but whoever loves him is diligent to discipline him. That's a really, really good point.
Yep. And again, I need to make sure people understand there is a difference between disciplining your child and
straight up
abusing.
abuse. Yeah.
There's a big difference there.
Yes. And unfortunately, we never end up making that difference, that differentiation. Yeah. Now I have, you guys know that I watch Computing Forever's videos sometimes, although I haven't really watched them as of recent. But there has been some theory about that having kids on things like Ritalin and stuff is basically a way of controlling the male population in a very quote-unquote feminist world, and keeping boys, from being, boys and stuff, because they need to be, basically I'm going to call it like de-mailing some men by, some boys by putting them on stuff or whatever. I don't know if that's an actual thing, or if that's an actual theory or not. As a kid, growing up, I had trouble paying attention, and I was really, really hyper and stuff like that. My parents never put me on anything. I was never put on anything. They just used good old-fashioned, spanking my behind and discipline. And that somehow, by God's grace, and probably mostly by God, allowed me to, helped me get through life, and I'm here, and I'm not any more rowdy than I was. I mean, I get rowdy, but I got quieter as I got older, which was interesting. So, Ali says in chat, my mom, you don't need to be physical at all, though, in disciplining people. I have some differing opinions, but that's perfectly okay. You're allowed your opinions here on this show. That's fine. There's actually quite a few different conversations going on here in chat, honestly. I do not think that spanking is bad, however. I do think it should be your only form. It should not be your only form of discipline, says Hipster Turtle. Yes. I mean, I was put in timeouts. I was put in, all that kind of stuff and everything. But, Gertron, do you have a point to make? I noticed you just pointed your camera there. Your mic has gone dead, my dude. I'm not sure.
Okay, there we are.
Thank you.
So I just sent you a video, and I think it would be great to watch here, about a kid calling the cops on his mom because the mom spanked him.
Are we sure we want to put this on?
Oh, yeah. It's completely clean. It's actually from a TV show.
This comes from YouTube.com. I don't know
Yeah.
who the original channel was here. Let me go. Clara Vella, apparently.
Yeah, it was the highest quality I could find.
We're here to investigate a child abuse complaint.
I didn't call the police.
I did. She hit me with a belt.
Is that true, ma'am?
I found out from Daniel's teacher he's been cutting class. And when I asked him about it, he lied. So I hit him.
Come here, kid.
She just said spanked him, not hit him.
How long ago did this happen?
A few hours ago.
How many times she hit you?
3. Whacked me right on the butt.
She hit you anywhere else?
No.
She hit you with her fist or another object?
No. Just the belt.
Has this happened before?
No.
All right, we need to take that belt and put it into evidence.
I've been acting out a little, and I felt like I had to.
Huh?
Am I going to jail?
You called the police on your mom because she disciplined you for ditching school.
That's child abuse. I've got rights.
Who told you that?
My friends.
Hit him again.
You know what? You got some bad advice from your buddies from the playground, pal. You don't ever call the police on your mom. Had that been my mom, you'd be calling me from the floor. I gotta be back here again because you were ditching class. I'm gonna peel this big belt off and I'm gonna hit you myself. You got it? John, get inside. Nice day.
That's how you handle that. That is how you discipline a kid.
Wow.
Now, I'm just saying.
That was interesting.
Oh, come on. Nightbot, come on. Don't hide creatures' comments. They're great.
Lol, 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 lol. Destroyed.
I think that is just, I mean, that's what needs to happen here. Because honestly, kids need to be spanked when they disobey. And when they do things bad, I mean, yes, you can put them in timeout. But depending on what they did, you need to spank your kid. And you need to go all out without abusing them. Important there. Now, I was abused.
Everything.
I was spanked as a kid, but I will also say I was abused because a 2x4.
Ow.
That's a little much.
Yeah. Ouch. Right. I think we've kind of smacked this one enough. Right.
And this is how you could save your household money.
Right. So I'm not really a financial person, but this was submitted to our show anyway. Apparently, more Americans are saving money, and this is a report of how much we've actually saved. This comes from foxbusiness.com. I actually skimmed this, so I could ask for a slight bit of help from Gertron to read this, but it's a short article, which is fantastic. While Americans continue to work their way out of a devastating 2007-2008 financial crash, their saving accounts appear to still be suffering. The median savings account balance among the U.S. households is $4,830, according to a recent survey from Magnify Money. However, a whopping 29% of households have less than $1,000 saved. Unsurprisingly, young Americans young Americans had less stashed away than older generations. Millennials, defined as those born between 1981 and 1998, hey, that's my group actually, of about $2,430 saved. The study showed individuals belonging to the Generation X, born between 1965 and 1980, which would probably be, I think, probably about my sister, because she's in her 30s somewhere, had about $15,780 stashed away, while those born before 1964 had a median savings stockpile worth $24,280. Dang.
Hey, that's how much money I make in a year.
Oh, very, very nice. As reported by Fox Business, Americans are spending more spending more than they are saving. Americans were also more likely to acquire between $5,000 and $2,500 worth of debt.
$25,000.
Sorry, 25,000. Thank you.
Yeah,
25,000. Yes, sorry. $25,000 worth of debt than saving last year, with 33% having added an amount within that range to their debt levels versus 17% who saved. According to Magnify Money's survey, about 52% of American households reported having a recent retirement account when both saving accounts and retirement accounts are factored in. The median household was about $11,700 away. Among the respondents who reported having at least some type of savings account, an overwhelming majority said they were storing money in a retirement account when compared with other vehicles like savings account, money market deposit account, or a certified of deposit, a CD. And in order to create a report, Magnify Money used data from the Federal Reserve and the Federal Department Insurance Corporation. Now, I like to say, actually, as far as money is concerned, a lot of my friends have said that a lot of them are not even planning to go to college because they don't want to amass the debt that college creates. And also people that are within my age group of about 25 or so, at least people that I know, a lot of them are still living at home with their parents because the expense of living is so high that even in some cases, there's been people who got married, moved out, were not able to support their family and actually had to move back with their parents because it's getting too expensive to live. Gertron, please. Gertron, you're not living on your own, as I recall. You're living with a roommate. And is that because of, is it because of the what's the reason for that? Just for sake of this conversation about, debt and money, if I may. Is it just because of like not wanting to live on your own, or is it because of like I was just wondering what your thought was on this.
It was a big room and it didn't cost too much.
Okay, there you go.
That's really what it was. Oh, I mean, I have a decent rent, but also I got an entire basement to myself. A finished basement, have you?
Yes, we've talked about the fact how I'm in the upper floor and that's why I'm CEO of TMM and you're in the
Okay, I know which room we're gonna move to now.
Oh.
We're in the ranch showroom now because now I'm gonna rant.
No, this is not TMM rant.
Those in the basement soon rise like the Dark Knight, and they become the overlords of those who used to be their overlords. So that's just how it's gonna be.
The only Batman thing I have is this. That's the only Batman sound effect that I have.
Okay, you don't deserve to be in the TMN rant room. We're going back.
Oh, good grief.
And we're back.
But what are your thoughts, Gertron, on this as far as like just the debt and all the kind of stuff? I mean,
savings wise, their median, I'm actually at that point. Their median of the $4,830. Yeah, I got about that much saved for retirement. So
unfortunately, because of like where I am, I have quite a significant amount less actually saved, and it's not by choices because my family's hit with medical things that I had to help pay for and stuff like that. So it ended up draining my financial pocket quite heavily. But it I don't know. I feel like it's there was a time, I guess, which I guess would have been my sister's generation that said, move out on your own, start your own family, all that kind of stuff and everything. And now it seems like with my generation, a lot of it is people are still living at home and they're not there's a lot less people living on their own, honestly. So, I don't know. I mean, I could see where maybe this could be half right, but then again, it's like really depends on how much money are people like actually saving, at least among my generation stuff. I don't know. Is it? I mean, I guess it's healthy. I don't know. I feel like I want to try to make something out of this here than just this short article.
Well, okay. Now, if we've been talking about savings, now we need to talk about debt. I am currently in debt, and I looked at it. at this. My credit score used to be amazing. So I was able to get some really high quality credit cards with a lot of extra credit on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I die, normally when you die, here's what happens to your debt. It goes to your next of kin, basically.
Right.
It doesn't just disappear. And I'm like, I have no next of kin.
Yes, you get time to get married. No, joking.
when I die,
yeah,
they just don't get anything back.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking, okay. So I'm just gonna pay off, do the minimum plus a little extra, to keep it down low enough that I have time. If I just lived off my credit cards only and kept my job, I could survive like 30 years. Easily.
Interesting.
And then when I die, I'll probably just call them and be like, I'm gonna be dying in about a few days or something like that. You're not getting your money back, so sucks to be you.
Rip. Interesting. Huh.
But yeah, I'm just like, as far as debt goes, I'm not too worried about my debt anymore. I've decided just save money in my bank account,
pay it off as fast as possible.
Oh no, I'm just gonna save money. That way, when it's time for me to retire or I'm getting close to dying, I can have a lot of fun before I die.
I mean, it's never good to hold on. I mean, it's always good to pay off your debts so you can have more financial freedom, I would think, honestly.
Oh, I've got plenty of financial freedom.
Hipster Troll says it also goes to your parents if you ain't married.
Well, okay, you see, here's the thing. I don't have any parents. There is nobody legally bound to me. My biological parents have no legal rights to me at all. They've been severed by the courts. My ex-adoptive parents, they have no legal rights to me. It was severed by the courts. I legally do not have any parents.
Oh, wow.
I legally do not have any family members for the bill to go to.
Do you want me to adopt you, Gertron?
Do you really want my debt?
Not particularly, but I mean, just so you can have a family. I mean, that's more important, isn't it, than debt? I'm just saying.
Yeah. You drop the paperwork. We'll go.
Cool. Gertron is now my brother.
Oh. I'll bring my $8,000 in debt to you.
Oh my god, that's not too bad compared to some other debts I've heard though.
Not too bad at all. When 5,000 of that is actually student loan debt, not that bad at all.
I mean, you could pay that off pretty quick, honestly, if you really try.
Yeah. I'm paying the minimum. It'll be done in 5 years.
Oh. Alrighty then. Cool deal. I mean, yes. But I mean, I have to say, with all the like side stuff you're making from those apps that you've been telling me about on the phone and stuff, you could technically pay that off within a couple of months' time, really, if you put a larger chunk toward it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm using that to pay for my car insurance.
Oh. Okay.
Which frees up even more money on my end.
True. Unfortunately,
and then I can also use it for doing other extra things that are fun that free up my main income for other things as well.
I kind of, the only thing when it comes to like insurance and stuff, and when it comes to things like homeowners, house, well, I guess that is, disaster, medical, car, I feel like especially with a car, I feel like car insurance should just be something that you just buy. You just buy once and you have it forever.
Oh no, that's never how it's gonna work.
No, I know, but I wish it would, because it's like you're paying this continual. It feels like you're just renting the insurance because it's like. Well, I know, but I don't.
That's what you're doing.
But
here's what happens when you pay your premiums. They're taking a chance on you not getting into a wreck, so they're using the amount of money that you're giving them to help pay off other people's wreck. So when they have a wreck, they use part of your payment to help pay for it. They don't tell you that they're doing that, but that's what they're doing. And then they have to continually get money from you because eventually, at some point, you're going to get into a wreck, and then they're going to have to give you money back. But if you paid them enough money, then when they pay off whatever wreck you got into, they're not losing much. See, if they only said, okay, one car insurance for the rest of your life, pay us $500 one time, you have car insurance for the rest of your life. That's not going to work. It gets them to a big wreck. They're not getting extra income because, it's just not going to work that way. But yeah. Talking about car insurance, by the way.
Yeah, I was just about to.
I wonder how much car insurance this car is going to cost. I was just looking at a functioning car has been built out of Lego, and yes,
I was just about to look up a video about it. Actually, yes.
There is a video right there in the article.
Oh, okay. But there's also one about there's one called how they made the Bugatti Lego car. Actually, I was just trying to find a specific. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. See how it was made. The amazing life-size Techno. Yeah, that was a video I was about to look up. Do you want to watch that, or we want to? Or we want to read the article?
Are you gonna link me the video?
Yeah. Also, let me copy. Let's go ahead and drop this in the main chat here for you. There it is. We're actually, I prefer interactive. I think it's be kind of fun to do. So this comes from youtube.com. This comes from Lego's official,
in the Lego Technic team,
official
we came up
channel
with a really crazy idea. Could we build a full-scale Bugatti Chiron out of Lego Technic elements and actually make it drive? This is the story of how we did it. It's one thing to get an idea. It's something else to actually make it happen. But our goal was to prove that with Lego Technic, you can really build for real. So, our first rule was that at least 90% of our car had to be built from Lego Technic elements.
So the first time I heard about the model, I was really excited because it's something we haven't ever done before.
We had also a lot of concerns because we don't do much Technic building here. So we just didn't know if that's actually possible.
It's something that moves the boundaries and completely redefines the standard.
Before we could even start the construction process, the team had to do a lot of research and sketching. We quickly realized that only a few technical parts could be drawn on computers. Most of the car had to be designed while we were building it.
Oh my.
We tried to minimize the construction as it is possible. So not to go with the classical chassis as all the cars have. We tried to minimize everything and to be more close to build for real. And that's the reason why, for example, now we have the A-pillar, the rear wing, or for example, door hinges made of Lego Technic bricks.
Wow.
That's amazing.
And it was a huge task for the team to build almost everything out of Technic elements.
The real Chiron has very sculptural aesthetics with a lot of curved surfaces. Basically, there is no straight line on the car, so we had to come up with a way how to replicate the surface of the car with Lego Technic. And for that, we came up with this so-called skin. Basically, the idea is we divide the surface of the car into very small triangles and then connect them with flexible elements. So
now, I want to say really quick, geometrically, triangles are actually one of the strongest shapes in the in our world. So
this is true.
Okay, continuing on.
Actually have this impression of curved surface.
We not only had to build the car, but a special tool for adjusting the outer skin as well.
Oh wow.
One of the key design elements of the original Bugatti Chiron is the unique light system. The iconic wide rear light bar is an integral part of the Chiron's DNA.
Oh, wow.
So it was very important for us to reproduce the entire light system in the Lego Technic version and make it work just like the original car.
Well, as I heard for the first time, the model is about to be movable. It was like, well, we can do that. And they told me then with this. So I was like, okay, we gotta work on it and come up with something.
So, we started testing.
And it's a matrix of 7 times 7 motors in 2 layers and multiply it by 24. So you have 2,304 power function motors in the vehicle.
Oh my goodness.
That's amazing.
The small Lego Technic gear wheels were a major concern. They had to move a car with a weight of 1.5 tons. We started by testing other materials like metal, Kevlar, and carbon fiber.
Well, it was kind of interesting for me that the Lego Technic gears were better than the Kevlar ones or the carbon fiber 3D printed gears.
Wow.
A major technical challenge on this Lego Technic version of the Bugatti Chiron was the large rear wing, especially when we decided to make it fully functional and powered by Lego Technic power function and pneumatic systems.
Wow.
This was a true build-for-real project, and all details had to be perfect. Altogether, the team spent more than 13,000 man-hours constructing the car and used more than 1 million Lego Technic elements. Every single element was assembled by hand, completely without glue. The final construction had to be both stable and flexible, so the car could drive without breaking apart.
Wow.
And the result was astonishing.
That's incredible.
Incredible indeed. Oh my goodness.
It was time to leave the workshop and head to the ultimate test track at Ihre-Lassin, outside Wolfsburg in Germany. The same track where Bugatti test drive their vehicles. Was it possible to build a car out of Lego Technic and make it drive using only Lego Technic power function motors? We were about to find out. There was only one person who could drive our car, and that was Andy Wallace, the official Bugatti pilot. He was ready, but was the car?
Oh my goodness.
It could drive, but only a few meters. Something was wrong. Was this going to be a major failure instead of the success we dreamed of? The team had to quickly identify the problem and fix it. We disassembled the hood to gain access to the motor unit. The problem lay with a heavy metal chain in the center of the engine block.
Not the motor.
Not with any Lego Technic elements or motors.
The update is that we have opened the car and saw the engine, and we adjusted the chain, and we made some adjustments also regarding the position of the shafts. So right now it's kind of more flexed, so it should work.
Everyone was ready, and so was the car.
Wow.
This is amazing.
And on a hot day, the whole car melts.
Right?
It could really
Come back to a
drive.
plastic
It
bottle.
was an incredible moment. The car drove faster and faster and continued down the track.
How fast did it go?
That was fantastic. Yeah. It was, yeah. And it actually was gaining a lot more speed as we went along.
Yeah, after all it's all, it's amazing. I mean, what else? This is why we came, and it's great. It's running under its own power.
No.
The piece
The
that's on
test
the
track
real
looks pretty
Chiron
flat to
is
me.
there. And it's not until you sit and you look and you spend time taking it all in and enjoying the surroundings. But also, you know, okay, we know dynamically it runs very well, we know that. But if you stand 10 meters back between the Lego Chiron and the real Chiron, you really would struggle to tell the difference. I mean, seriously, it's that good.
We did the impossible. We built a car out of Lego Technic elements and actually made it drive.
Sorry, how fast did it go?
20 kilometers per hour.
Nice. That, my friends,
Which
is epic.
is Wow.
What?
2 mph. Oh my goodness. That's almost 13 miles per hour.
Hey, I mean, that's better than not at all.
This is true.
But that is an engineering feat for Lego.
Oh,
that is a huge engineering feat. And actually, there's quite a few. There's actually quite a few other videos on YouTube, which I will actually be spending my time watching, because I'm very, very interested. Nightbot, you're an idiot. I could use that to hatch Pokemon eggs. Wait, what? Excuse me?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't get that one.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool. Super cool.
Oh wow.
That
is a great way to end the stream.
It is a great way. I don't know if the article had anything more than what was already in that video, but I think that video was a pretty.
The video did everything.
They did everything. All right, cool, awesome. Yeah. Well, it comes to the end of our show, which makes me sad. If I can just start playing the outro here. But I want to thank everybody for, of course, watching the morning match show and everything. Gertron, thank you. Thank you everybody else that showed up and stuff. We'll be back probably let me go look at the calendar again. We'll be back on the 15th of September with a brand new episode of TMM. So we want to wish you guys an awesome rest of your Saturday and an even better Monday. Although I've actually been posting, as I said, I've been posting episodes a little bit sooner because TMM is not affiliated, which makes it pretty easy, honestly. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out and chatting. And until then, we'll just see you guys later. Gertrude, any other thoughts at all before I completely hit the button? No.
Nope. TMM Rant will still be going on tomorrow.
Yeah, when
12 Central morning, 12 p.m.
All right, cool. So come back here for TMM Rant if you want to hear Gertron with all his rantings and craziness and stuff. And I'm sure he's got a lot loaded. He looks like he's ready.
I'm ready. It's time. Let's go.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. And until then, we will see you all next time. Thank you for listening to the Morning Metro. All stories and articles belong to their respected companies. Songs used for broadcasts. Intro music, Retro Funky by Persephone. Remix by Sundance. Outro music, 305 by Approach Nirvana. All music belongs to their respected copyright holders. For article submissions, questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at themorningmetro@gmail.com.